So, this is going to be a video that's for people who are pretty new to Blender, people who want to get into sculpting but are just kind of having troubles. Um, Believe me, I've been there. I am definitely not a pro at Blender, but I picked it up on a whim just kind of as a hobby, and I've never really put it down. So, I'm going to try and make a video and show you guys some tips and tricks of things that have helped me get a lot better. So, when we're starting, let's just go to File, go to New, go to General, um, just so that you guys can see everything from the beginning process. So we'll go ahead and delete the lighting, we'll delete the camera, and then we are left with the cube and our collections. So down here, there's a whole lot of information, a whole lot of things going on in here. We're not going to worry about a lot of this too much. We basically just want to go down to the blue wrench, the modifiers tab, click on add modifier, and in this generate tab, we want to go all the way down to subdivision surface. And basically what our subdivision surface does for us is it breaks up our cube, what was our cube, into more segments. So if I go 2, it adds even more segments, 3, 4, 5, you know. But what I like to do personally, I like to use 6, and then I will hit this little drop down right here, this drop down arrow, hit apply. And so after I hit apply, we'll go into our sculpt mode. So when you go into sculpt mode, you automatically start out with draw. And with draw, you know, you can do all sorts of things. Um, if you hit Control Z, that will undo anything. So, you know, if I keep just drawing on this and drawing and drawing, and I don't like what I've created, Control Z. Um, but normally what you want to do when you first go into any sculpt is you want to enable the mesh symmetry. I like to do it on the x-axis personally, so I'll click on my y-axis up here, and I will, you know, anything that I do on the right side of my mesh, it's going to do on the left side of my mesh, and vice versa. So we'll go ahead and hit Control Z again. Um, this isn't really something that you have to follow along with. These are just kind of things that I want to show. When you're going into your remesh, which is something that's going to be very important, I have a stronger PC, so I can go pretty low with it, but typically when I'm starting out on making any type of body, if that's what you're going for, I will do about 0.031, remesh that, and if we go back into edit mode, you'll see all these different kinds of vertices. So if we go back into sculpt mode, and let's say we go to like 0.014, hit remesh, you'll see that there's been a whole lot more vertices added. Let's do let's do it one more time, and I'll go pretty low on this one. We'll go 0.004. So if I go back into edit mode, you can see that that is a whole lot of fucking pixels. Now, when you have this many pixels, this is typically for doing really fine details. So if I, you know, draw, I can do any kind of drawing that I want. Basically, anywhere that I touch on this mesh, um, it will be manipulated. Versus if I did like very large size like this, I'm not able to manipulate as much of the shape. You know, we don't see the same type of detail. So that's something that's nice to know. Um, but we'll go back to like we'll settle for 0.26. Oh no, we don't want to do that. I want to be around, we'll go 0.037. That's kind of where I like to be, if not lower than that. So after I, kind of goof around with that, I'll hit G, and G will bring us to your grab tool. With your grab tool, you can grab, you can manipulate your shape like that. This is going to be probably one of the biggest ones that you use all the time. So if we go to our y-axis real quick, we'll make a really rough shaped head. If you hit F, you can resize your tool brush. So when I'm doing my heads initially, I'll go with a pretty big size brush. So we'll do a little drag down, maybe make it a little bit smaller, bring the head shape in, maybe make it even smaller. Not moving enough material, so I need to make it bigger. Let's pull the back out, back of the head out more. Okay, so for now we're gonna call that good because I want to show you guys how to use the mask, which is an extremely important tool. I just recently learned what masking was, and it's changed entirely how I sculpt. So I think it's really important for beginners to know how to use this. So before when I was trying to sculpt, I would just use the grab tool and I would manipulate as much as I could and just keep doing pull downs like this to try and get my neck. I wouldn't do it quite like this. This is just kind of an example to show you what I was doing. Um, but once I figured out what the mask tool was, I can now go here, kind of where my neck would be, make a nice little circle, and then if we hold A and go to invert mask, it'll make the rest of the head black. And so if I go to my grab tool again, you can see that I can't manipulate any of the black area. But if I come down to the white area, I can manipulate the mesh. So let me just undo what I did real quick. If I scroll down on that left-hand tab where our mask was, if we go just a little bit further, there's the move tool. If I grab this blue arrow and pull down, see that I just manipulated a neck. And if you see, it looks kind of choppy, so we'll go to remesh, and then we'll hit A, we'll clear the mask up, and then hit G, and we will hold shift and kind of do left clicks. And basically what we're doing right now is we're kind of smoothing out some of these pixels, making that transition a lot better. So, if you want to mess around with this, mess around with the grab tool, kind of get yourself a little neck going, something that you're comfortable with. I'm going to just do this real quick. Like I said, I'm not a pro by any means. You can see that this face is looking really goofy. But anyways, just to show you even more of what you can do with this mask tool, um, we'll pull a torso down doing the same method. So I'll go to the neck here, I'll mask that off, and if you got too much, like I just did right here, we'll make that brush size smaller, and we can just black it out. Because we already know that anything in this area isn't getting manipulated. So we'll just black that area out real quick. Um, we already inverted our mask, so there's no need for me to do it again. And we'll go to that blue arrow and pull down again. And you see, things don't really look right, and so we're gonna remesh. We'll clear that mask up, hit G again, and shift click all the smooth. A lot of the times it doesn't always look perfect. It's gonna take some practice. So we'll, in our grab brush, we'll make it bigger. We'll kind of pull out some shoulders. Pull out some shoulders. Kind of get like a rough torso going. Kind of easy peasy. Obviously this isn't perfect, but I just want to kind of show you guys how versatile this mask tool can be. So real quick, we're gonna do some arms. I guess I really want to show you hands. So we'll pull some shoulders out real quick, and then we're gonna use this flatten tool. So when I'm using the flatten tool, I'll just kind of flatten this area. Not perfect, but it'll work. And then after you get, a little area flattened right there, let's grab our mask again. Draw this out. Draw out what we want to extrude. Let's invert the mask. You can see I have too much grabbed right here, so we're gonna mask this off. Alright, I'm content with that, so we'll go back to the move tool, and then we'll pull that out, we'll remesh, we'll go ahead and hit G and kind of smoothen some of this out. So normally I would do this little by little. I would pull it out to about right here, and then I would work on my biceps. Um, I would work on my biceps, I'd work on my triceps, work on kind of where your elbow is supposed to be. For this, I'm gonna just keep extending it out. So let me pull this out a little bit further. So let's say that's about how long your arms should be. You know, whatever looks proportionally right to you. We'll remesh that one more time, kind of smoothen this out. Alright, so we're gonna do some really fast hands. They're gonna look kind of goofy, but I want to show you guys. Oh, my brush size is just too big. Okay. Also, if you guys don't know how to really like move around, super easy. Shift and middle mouse helps you move left and right. Helps you move anywhere. Zooming in and out, and uh, just holding that middle mouse kind of helps you pivot wherever you need to be or need to be looking. It's kind of a little late in the video, but it is what it is. So we'll get kind of a little hand going here. It's gonna be the back side of the hand. It's ugly, but we're not really too worried about that. So if you want to, you can take that flatten tool that we showed earlier for your shoulders, and we'll kind of run that along here. We can even remesh real fast as well. So we'll do that real quick. Then go back to our masking tool. I'm gonna just do 3 fingers, um, just 'cause it's a little bit simpler. do a finger right there, a finger right here. And pretty much, I want to make sure that when I invert this in between that's white, it needs to be black. We want more black here. Because when we extrude this and there's little bits of white here, it's gonna pull the mesh and it's gonna create a nightmare that you don't want to deal with. So we'll try and take care of that real quick. Kind of make sure that we just have space. These are gonna be some wonky looking fingers, but this is all just to show you guys. So we'll call that good for now. And actually, I think I'm going to leave just this one a little bit less separated, just to kind of show you guys like what happens when you don't black this area out. So we'll go ahead and go to that move tool again, pull it out, and now you'll see we've got some little fingers. So you can see that the area where I didn't black it out entirely kind of pulled material, more material than what I would want. And it can kind of be a pain to get rid of. So we'll make our voxel size a little bit smaller. We'll go ahead and remesh it, smoothing everything out. Then I'm going to show you guys one more thing before I'm done with the video. Alright, so right here, this is your dynamic topology. And so kind of what this does is it will take, if your mesh is kind of low poly like mine is, um, you want to use this for like anything that's gonna need a lot of pixels. So like hands are a good time to use something like this. Basically, anytime that I manipulate, what it's trying to do is create 12 extra pixels. I think I might have said that wrong. It doesn't create 12 extra pixels, but basically when I go in here now, let me grab a clay strips real quick. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold control, and we're just gonna kind of take away material. If I didn't have my dynamic topology on right now, it wouldn't be quite so simple. But because it's manipulating and adding more pixels to just the areas that I'm clicking on, it's making it a lot easier to get rid of all of this material. But, you know, that's pretty much kind of the whole gist of this. You can use the masking tool to extrude, or I mean, you can also use the masking tool to like indent. Um, it's just a very versatile tool that everybody should know about, and it's something that I found out way too late. Um, and ever since I found that out, it's been a complete game changer about how I go and I do all of my sculpts. So if you guys learned anything from this, I'm grateful because it was